Hi guys, welcome back to Global Med Talks. I'm your host Haider Ali, and today we've got a very special guest. I have Abdul-Aziz Ansari. You might know him before if you've been watching TikTok. So Abdul-Aziz, do you want to introduce yourself?
Yeah, so I'm not gonna make it sound too professional. I'm sure a lot of people do know that I make TikTok videos as well. A lot of people like bump into me, they recognize me from. And seeing as my friend's already doing a podcast, I thought, you know what, might as well join him, share some of my experiences about what it's like studying abroad, what it's like to just live abroad in general, away from family, because it is a big thing, and I don't think there's a lot of people out there that really like delve deep into it. They kind of just firm it themselves, and yeah, I don't really want it to be that sort of experience where people are like struggling to find information about it. It's probably one of the reasons why I made the page in the first place, just so that people have that access to information that we didn't have. You know, I'm sure you know as well, like when you came, yours was a bit of a different situation anyway. Like you came from Ukraine.
Yeah, I came from Ukraine and then I came to Georgia. So I sort of already had like that background knowledge of what to do, how to survive abroad.
Yeah.
But many people, especially 18-year-olds, they don't know anything.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like,
and you know, it's quite respectable what you've done. So you are helping quite a lot of people. So that does deserve a lot of praise.
I think that's the thing. I think a lot of people when they're 18 and they're studying abroad, I think they hear about it, especially me. Like I'd heard of people going abroad, but not as many as the numbers that we see. Because I think how many people must there be? There's like at least 10,000 international students coming per year. I think, like, for all of the universities, you put it into context, there's like 22 medical universities.
Yeah.
And that's not just from the UK, that's from everywhere around the world, and more people are finding out about Georgia. So I think there's a lot of people that are coming, and that number is just going to increase in the future. And you know, if the information's out there for people to see, then it gives them a better understanding, because a lot of people don't live independently, and when to move abroad is a very big thing.
It is, yeah.
And what we said this as well, like when you come abroad, it's not like the degree is the main thing. You're like not in survival mode, because it's not that difficult to like live abroad once you get used to it, but you are balancing the degree with other things. You're trying to do like so many like side projects. You're trying to do like cooking, cleaning, looking after your apartment. Especially in your first month, is hectic. You know, if you do it on your own without your parents around or like friends to support you, then it gets like really difficult to balance that sort of stuff, and you want to get it sorted as soon as possible. So like that's the sort of stuff that I think 18-year-olds fresh out of college or whatever they did before, they're not really aware of like what it's like abroad. So that's some of the stuff that we're going to talk about on this podcast anyway.
Yeah, and just to mention as well, just to add on to your point, a lot of parents are reluctant to send their children abroad because of this barrier. They feel like their children, most of them, when they're 18 years old, they can't handle life abroad. So that's why they sort of delay their pursuits into becoming a doctor. Because for me, I'm talking about me personally, when I was 18 years old, I don't think I could have survived abroad, personally speaking anyway. Because I didn't have the support, I didn't know where to get the support.
It would have been very difficult. Like,
yeah, it would have been very difficult. And you know, looking back on it, if I knew there was support out there, I would have gone. You know, I would have just took the risk and just pursued my dreams of becoming a doctor. And if I did that at my age, I would have been a doctor by now. So
obviously you're a bit older than me.
Yeah,
I'm sure you don't mind me saying.
I'm 25 years old.
Yeah, so you would have been, if you were 18 when you came.
Yeah.
You would have had to deal with COVID.
Yeah.
Like a lot of students, there were students in Georgia when they were dealing with COVID, and it was a similar situation for you in Ukraine. I know, like it was really bad in terms of their teaching and stuff. In terms of like, you know, getting that face-to-face experience, it was the same everywhere in the UK, in other countries. You couldn't have the same university experience, and it led to a lot of problems. So that's why you decided to start. If you're doing it abroad, you wanted to start from the beginning. You wanted to make sure it's legit. So you know, you came to our university. It was recognized by the GMC. You wanted to take them steps because you already not wasted, but you did spend a few years doing something else and it didn't work out. So then you wanted to make sure that, you know, this time, you know, you're in fourth year,
exactly.
And you wanted to make it work out properly. So yeah, that's like one of the main things, that people have that support network. People know that there's students in Georgia, they can speak to people, and it's easy information. Like all you have to do is go on TikTok, search study abroad. Exactly. I'm pretty sure, like, people have told me that I'm one of the first things that comes up, and then they find my page. So that's pretty much like why I started the page, and why people like why people want to know the information that they do.
Even when we go to these welcome events, I think we went to one last year.
Yeah.
And a lot of people, you know, they were coming up to you and saying, "Oh, thank you, your information has really helped." And that just goes to show like the impact that you're making.
That was what surprised me the most, because I didn't think that many people saw my videos. Yeah. But then I don't see I just see the amount of views, I guess. I don't actually see like who sees my videos until they tell me that, oh, my family sends me your videos, they know that I'm coming to Georgia. I'm like, well, that's mental. Like, people, they're, oh, my family in Bolton have seen it, or like, oh, everyone, like, I'm from Scotland, I've seen your videos. I'm like, what? And like, people all around the world, like the students, that if they want to see and find that information, then they'll find it. Like, it's really easy for them. So that's what I find like the most bizarre about it is the fact that it is impacting quite a lot of people. I just don't realize it, because in the beginning, like, you know, when I was with you when I first started, not with you in the sense of like in a relationship. We were living together for 3 years, like that's what it means. He is my former flatmate. But yeah, we were living together. I remember I pulled up to the airport, and what did you explained it quite well. No, when you was like, I pulled it out of my pocket. I was like, the GoPro.
Oh yeah. I was like, oh my god, this guy's I'm living with some influencer now. It was so weird. I just saw this guy randomly. He didn't even warn me or like that he was gonna record. He just says, "Okay, guys." I was like, whoa, what's going on here?
That was like the first video.
Yeah, that was the first video.
That was like such a poorly made video. Like, I look back on it now, and I would never ever upload something like that again. Like, if you go back all the way to the first video, it's like a 7-minute video. It's so boring. And it starts from the night before. Like, it was my journey to Georgia. I'd made it a couple of times before, but this time I was like recording it. So,
but that's the thing. Like, even if you start social media, if you start anything, content creation, whatever, in whatever field you're going to be in, your first few uploads are going to be bad.
Yeah, that's the thing. Like, so, but I didn't start it for the students to see. I started it because it was like a sort of family. My family was asking like, what sort of stuff do you get up to there? So I was like, you know what? My sister got me a GoPro for my birthday, and I was like, all right, I'll make like some vlogs and stuff. I'll make some videos so that my family can see it. And I'm not gonna lie, like the first video I did got like 9,000 views. I didn't know if that was good at that time. But I was like, yo, you know what? This feels pretty good, so I'm gonna just keep making videos. Loads of random people like just that were studying abroad or wanted to study abroad just started asking me loads of questions.
Yeah.
And then I was like, okay, I can actually answer some of these questions.
Yeah.
So then it became a thing of like, okay, answering frequently asked questions, like showing where things are in the city, showing how to do certain things, and it just the quality sort of increased. Like the response to comments. My response to comments started turning into video replies, stuff like that. So that's where the content comes from. And it was only because there was so much interest. So like for everyone that supported me from the beginning, I don't think that it would have been possible without everyone watching the videos and asking me or giving me ideas, because without that, that's like the main source of where I get my ideas from. It's what the people want to see, what the people want to know about. And like other stuff like day in the life videos, those sort of things, they come later on. So for example, like if I'm just out and I see something interesting, then I might take a video of it and I can use it later on, because people might find it interesting. Or like moving on to like other things like the student society that I tried to make, and I think it's got like 450 people in there. It was quite useful for a lot of new students to like connect, make their own groups, and just meet people through that. So it is good like to do it, but on the flip side, it is quite difficult to like balance with a lot of other stuff, because a lot of, you know, as well with the schedule, how it is with rotations and stuff like that. Sometimes you're really busy, sometimes you're less busy, depending on when your rotations are. Sometimes you have an overlap, like you're running between 2 or 3 different clinics sometimes within one day. Sometimes you're not going to go to a clinic for 3 weeks because the rotation is not scheduled to start. Like right now I'm on holidays until the 12th. So that's the sort of stuff that you need to like take into account when you're trying to do content creation. I do urge a lot of people to do it, because it's interesting to get other views in it.
Yeah. And also studying abroad does open a lot of doors to build yourself emotionally, intellectually, whatever. Just build yourself as a person. Because do you think you can say that you would be doing all this if you were in the UK?
That's the thing. A lot of people, something funny, you know, is that people say that when they meet me in person, they're like, oh, I thought you were going to be like really serious and stuff. And I think they get that idea because, okay, my videos are kind of like professional and stuff. But if people know me, the people that know me, or they knew me before TikTok and they're still like in contact with me, they would know that that's really not my personality. Like what I put online is what I want people to see, like the professional side, but really like I'm just chilled out. Like I'll do my own thing, I'll chill with my friends as well. I am a student at the end of the day, so that's how it is. But in terms of like opening networks and opening opportunities to people, it does open a lot, but that's something that you need to sort of make sure that you're presenting yourself in the right way and you present yourself to the right opportunities, because there's been a lot of opportunities that I've had where I don't want to work with somebody because I don't think it's beneficial for students, or I think it's going to be harmful for the students. So in that case, like I've just never even, I've explained it to them obviously, and then I'll just be like, I don't want to, because I don't think it's good for the audience. I don't think that this is a service that the students would want. So that's the sort of stuff that you need to take into account. You did mention somewhere else. What else did you?
No, I was just gonna say, like, studying abroad compared to studying in the UK.
Oh yeah, that was the main.
It's like studying abroad it gives you opportunities to grow as a person, because in the UK you wouldn't really have this helping students, studying abroad, whatnot.
They wouldn't need as much.
They wouldn't really need much as help because there's already support there. So you coming abroad and setting up your TikTok page has actually helped you. You can put something on your CV now as well.
Yeah, that is another thing.
And you're helping people. You're boosting your communication skills. I mean, your communication skills were already good from the beginning.
I think I was just loud. I was quite like unfiltered. I was really unfiltered when I came here. I used to speak really loud. I used to speak like, I used to be hyper. Yeah. Like a lot. I think maybe because I was 18. I don't know. Yeah. Maybe I'm 18. Maybe because I was 18. Maybe because I got undiagnosed ADHD. I actually don't know. But I still think that you can see that in my videos sometimes. Like I try and keep that energy. Sometimes even when I don't feel like making a video, that's the thing. Like you need to be aware that if you're doing content creation like that, people expect you to be something. And even if you don't feel like being like that, when you need to make a video, you have to put that personality on. So that's like, it's sort of like fake it until you make it. But I try and do that as little as possible because it is my personality at the end of the day in the videos. But yeah, like in terms of, if I was in the UK, I definitely wouldn't have been as confident as I am now. Because another thing is, there's a lot of issues outside of university, outside of like in your personal life, like stuff to do with the apartment, where to find certain things that you need to communicate with locals for. You need to learn a little bit of Georgian, and it makes you like settle in so much more better than if you don't know any Georgian at all. Like that's one of the most important things. Make sure you can fit in with the culture. Make an effort as well, because the Georgians appreciate it. And right now, like, it's opened up a lot of opportunities for me. Like when I go to the markets, I know there's people that I can contact for something. They give me a good price, like shoes, clothes, for example. Like, it sounds weird, but like I go to one guy in the market for belts, and they're really good quality belts. So I probably bought like 6 or 7 from him just for myself. And that's the sort of stuff, like, it makes you feel more comfortable in it. Like if you were living in your own country, not your own country, but if you're living in the UK and you're going to uni, then you would have all of these like little connections. And I think you can understand that as well. Like you must have had something similar in Ukraine.
So I mean, when I was in the UK, I wasn't really pushing myself to be out there, and I was sort of like, when I was 16 years old, I don't know if you believe this or not, but I was a very shy person. I still kind of am, like, a little bit now, but when I was 16, I wouldn't even go to the shops to ask for food. I would always tell my parents. And this when I was like 16, 17. And then my parents and my uncle, they were pushing me to do more things. But that was in the UK. Like, I already know the English language there. I'm already comfortable. I already know that there's no culture shock or anything. So it was easy to overcome that little first step, that barrier of going up and doing stuff myself. But then when I went to uni, I didn't really make that much progress, if you know what I mean. Because it's the same thing. Do you know what I mean? Like, the support's already there. You just go in, you ask for what you need, and you already got your connections. You already know how to talk. You already know where everything is. So you don't really need to put yourself out there as much. But when I came to Ukraine, when I went to Ukraine, it was such a big, like, culture shock, first of all. Language barrier, communication barrier. There was so many things I had to, like, overcome now.
What was the language in Ukraine that you had to learn?
Ukrainian and Russian.
I think you were in Dnipro.
Dnipro, but the city I was in, the most widely spoken language there was Russian. So I spoke a little bit of Russian. I've forgotten it all now, so don't, like, test me on the spot or something. But you get what I'm saying. You had to put yourself out there, and confidence was a really big thing. Because I've said this to my brother, who's also now studying abroad. I've told him that studying abroad will either make you or break you.
Yeah, that is an important thing. I think a lot of people, like, they think, I don't know if there's a lot of people, but they see or they hear about people going abroad, and I think with anything, it's easier to say something than it is to do it. Like, I think a misconception that a lot of people have, especially like people that say, you just went abroad and got your degree. But, okay, maybe 5 years ago, I would have thought, yeah, they just went and paid for their degree, that they got it. But actually living abroad, balancing your life, going to uni, maintaining a schedule by yourself is something that is much more difficult than it seems, because to do that consistently for 6 years, you need to have determination, you need to have focus, you have to work hard. And no matter where you're doing the degree, you still have to put a lot of effort in. Like you've got experience in the UK, so like, let's say in terms of the course content, how much of the stuff, like they make you learn it in detail here. They make you know like every little bit, don't they? So that's the thing. Like we get tested. We get
a lot more frequently.
A lot more frequently, and we get it. Maybe, I don't know. Like in the UK, you don't have that. Is it support, or is it like they just let you do your own thing?
They just let us do our own thing.
Here, they do kind of let you do your own thing as well, but they know, like, if you don't go to your classes, you don't collect these oral points, you don't go to do the quizzes, then you're not going to sit the final. Like, the uni don't care, because anywhere you go, the uni is going to get money off it. So if you fail, and with good reason, like, if you don't go to your classes, you don't study, then, okay, you deserve to fail. Like, let's be honest. You shouldn't be doing a medicine degree like that. It's a very important profession. You should take it seriously. So if you get to the end of 6 years and you've been doing everything consistently, it's not an easy thing by any means. So that's another thing that people don't really speak about, or they don't know about when they're thinking about coming abroad, or they know people that have gone abroad. They think it is easy, but in reality, I'm pretty sure it's the same degree of difficulty as it would be in the UK, or if not even harder, because of the other challenges that you have in your life. So that's another important fact.
Personally, I've had UK medical students who are my friends. They've told me personally that we actually learn a lot of stuff in more detail, and our theoretical knowledge is actually on par, if not like a little bit better. It depends on the person, obviously.
Yeah, that's the thing.
But the point I'm trying to say is we're not left behind. Like, we're not at a disadvantage of coming abroad.
So that's the thing. Like, people think that we're lacking, or we would be lacking knowledge, but honestly, from what we've seen, to get through the first 3 years is difficult on its own. And then to actually put that knowledge into use in the last 3 years, when we're doing our rotations now, which we'll move on to. Like, to put that knowledge in, you have to be able to retain it, you have to be able to use it, and you have to be able to use it correctly. And no matter where you're studying, I think that is the main thing. Because even as a doctor, let's be like, in being a GP, you can't. It's impossible to have all of the knowledge about every single thing in your head. And I think there might be GPs watching this video. I don't know. Let us know your thoughts. But to have that knowledge on hand is impossible. Like, you can't recall it off the top of your head. But what's the important skill is being able to recall what you need to know and being able to go in the right direction. And doing that efficiently, that's the skill that is important for being a GP, for example. And I think being a doctor, that's why they say problem solving, instead of just like remembering everything, because that's not really what a doctor is. A doctor is a diagnostician. Like, nowadays you do see a lot of doctors doing roles that are like out of their category, but realistically, anything to do with like IVs, lines, that sort of stuff, I feel like that was always a nurse's job, and that is their job. Like, it's a very important job because that is their specialty. They're part of a team that is supporting the doctor and supporting like the whole healthcare of the patient. And a doctor is the diagnostician, so they're meant to come in and they're meant to advise on what is the best way to progress. And I think that is what we're being taught as well over here. Like, you see, that's the thing. Like, in the UK healthcare system, I think you can agree, you've been to the doctors a few times here, but you can see that they have separate roles. Like, you will be in a room, and like the doctor will come in, and they'll tell you what's going on, and then to actually do anything, the nurse will come and do it, because that's what they do. So that's an important. I don't know. It's an important thing. I think it's something that is overlooked, especially like the way that doctors are overworked in the UK. That may be why like they're taking on a lot more roles than they need to. That are not under their category, and it's just being kind of bundled into there over the years. So it is an important thing. Okay, so you've asked me quite a lot of questions about my life and about like studying abroad, but I think a very important and quite like scary story is probably gonna be to ask you about like what it was like when you had to transfer from Ukraine. Because just explain, you explain it, because it is your story.
It was crazy. Let me just put it this way. It was crazy. First of all, I remember, let me just picture out for you guys. I'm in the coffee shop, yeah? I love going coffee shops, by the way. I was in the coffee shop. I was
in Ukraine, innit?
In Ukraine,
so this is all happening in Ukraine.
This is all happening in Ukraine now. And we get a government message. I mean, if you get a government message, yeah, you know that it's serious. So I got a government message. I'm paraphrasing, but I don't know what the exact message was. It was basically saying, emergency alert, get out of Ukraine now. This is a message to all British citizens or something.
I think for context, what date was it? Like
I think February something.
Or if you just give them the time,
2022, I think.
Yeah, so it was around like when the Ukraine and Russia stuff was kicking off.
Just before like the war kicked off, I got this message.
So that means like they didn't know. Obviously they know because it's.
I mean, we knew that the war was gonna start. But we were hoping that it wasn't going to start. And I told my parents, Dad, I want to come home. Like, this is looking a bit risky. My dad goes, stay there.
Typical like Pakistani parents.
Honestly,
he's firm it.
They were like, firm it, just stay there. I was like, okay, fine. Nothing's going on yet, so I'll stay there. Bearing in mind, a lot of people in our course, they've already moved out now.
Like, they've left the country.
They've left the country. But I stayed. So we got this message. And immediately my heart dropped. Like, I was like, oh my God, what's going on? I should have just left before. So what's going to happen now? I was with some friends at this time. Some of my friends, I'm not going to mention any names, but they actually started crying. Because they were stressed out. They didn't know what to do. And they thought like some crazy apocalyptic event was going to happen or something. So I was like, okay, look, listen, let's just find the next available flight. We went onto Skyscanner.
Yeah.
There weren't any available flights.
Oh my God.
Not from Kiev anyway.
Yeah.
Well, they were from Kiev, but like they were going really, really fast.
Yeah.
And I needed to talk to my parents first. I was like, this is happening. I need to come home. So when I went home, I looked on Skyscanner. I called a few of my friends. And there were not many flights from Dnipro. Sorry, I was meant to mention. There wasn't that many flights from Dnipro, which the city I was in. We had to get a 14-hour train to another city.
A sleeper train as well.
Like a sleeper train all the way to Lviv.
Yeah.
And that was an experience of in itself. So we went there, we packed our bags and everything, and we just went.
But you didn't pack everything.
No,
you told me. So
you
thought like, a lot of people were thinking at that time, it's going to be like a minor thing. Like maybe 1 or 2 months here and it'll be over. You can go back. But you had to leave a lot of stuff behind.
I left a lot of stuff behind, and a lot of people did as well. So I bought like... I always go abroad with two suitcases, and I brought one back with me this time. So
one of them's still there.
Yeah, one of them's still there.
Some Russians got your stuff, or some Ukrainian guys got your clothes.
Maybe it's been donated to some people that need it. So if that's the case, then I don't mind.
Do you still keep in contact with that landlord then, or?
I did for like the first 2 years. He goes, oh yeah, everything is fine, don't worry. But I'm not really in contact with him now, to be honest. Because plus, the stuff that I brought back with me, they were all the important stuff.
Oh, so you left the stuff that was you could replace it?
I could replace it easily.
Oh, okay.
So at this point, I've pretty much replaced everything. So I can't really be bothered to bring it back now. But anyway, I packed my suitcase and I started this journey. So I went on the sleeper train, and it was so long. I started making friends with these Ukrainians, and then they were saying, oh yeah, we're going to Lviv, we're trying to get away from the border. And me and my friend Awais, shout out to Awais if you're listening, we just got onto this train, and we just slept halfway through it. We was talking halfway through it, and then we were looking outside the windows, and I kid you not, we saw tanks everywhere.
Bro, how old were you when you was this, by the way?
22.
But that's so
I was about
messed
22
up,
years old,
imagine,
and I was just go on, Hugo.
No, I'm just thinking imagine being in that situation at 22 years old.
That
sort of scares me.
Especially if you've been brought up in the UK, you never see this stuff. If you want to go see a tank, you gotta go to a resort or something, take pictures, pay money to see
go
a
to
tank.
a museum, stuff like
exactly.
that.
And here I'm like, oh my gosh. And I didn't really know the context. I'm not really being in touch with the news sources or anything in Ukraine. So I actually thought this war started. I was like, stuff's kicking off right now.
Or were they just going to prepare?
I think they were going to prepare.
They have to go
guarding.
Just seeing that, who would see, unless people in war-torn countries are people that see tanks every day, and you were there traveling, like you could see it.
Yeah.
Like you, when else would you see a tank in that situation? Like I find that mental. Like you
Till
saw
this
that.
day, I've never seen another tank in my life.
Yeah,
That was the only
I
tank
think
I saw.
that's a good thing. Like
That is a good thing, actually.
That's-
And I mean, luckily, I was one of the lucky ones. I got a flight early on, and I actually did manage to get out of the country. Some people didn't. Some people were stuck there.
well, even after the war.
Even after the war kicked off, like officially kicked off, I think it kicked off maybe.
So when the news found out, like when, when the
when
public
everyone
found out, there were still people in Ukraine,
there
like
were still
students.
people stuck, and they've stopped the flights now, and people were still stuck in Ukraine.
So how did you ever get in contact with them guys, or what?
They
happened?
weren't really my close friends. They were more
They were
like
people that
the
you know.
people I sort of knew in it.
Yeah.
So they were trying to get onto trains. They were trying to get into these bordering countries, and there was this whole thing like going off. Like they weren't really letting these foreign students get onto the trains as well because the trains were full.
Yeah.
So people were camping outside, waiting for the next train stop. And honestly, I was looking at these videos, and I was so thankful that I made it out.
Yeah,
It
honestly,
was crazy.
I don't think anyone should be in that situation as well. Like,
Yeah.
especially students. Like, you go in there to study, and then to have your whole life like uprooted like that. Not your whole life, but there's a big portion in it. Like,
Yeah,
you're going to uni for
yeah.
6 years. For a lot of people, that'll be a quarter of their life when they're done. Like for me, I'll have spent 6 years abroad. I think if people are thinking of going abroad, especially going to not third world countries but developing countries like Ukraine and stuff like that, like Georgia, even now sometimes there's tensions, there's a lot of like protests and stuff. We don't know what the future can hold. We can just like pray that everything goes smoothly enough for us to do our degree. And also for the countries, we have a lot of friends that are Georgian. We want it to be we want it to be an easier life for them. Like they just want to live in peace, man. Like that's it. So for people that have the obsession of studying medicine, it's not as easy as you didn't get the grade so you went abroad, because there's a lot of factors that go in. And like one of these stories that you just said, a lot of those people, where are they now? Like the ones from Ukraine, where did they?
Some of them have dropped out entirely.
So some of them, that was enough for them to say, I don't want to do medicine anymore. And the rest of them, like yourself, what they're doing?
So some people like myself, I came to Georgia because I really wanted to do medicine.
So there you go.
I need to do this. I need to finish off. Not even finish off. I had to start again.
Yeah,
I had to start again from year one. So that put a lot of people off.
Yeah.
And some people took a gap year. People didn't really know what they were doing. People went back to their original jobs because there were some people who are optometrists. They just went back to being optometrists. There were some people who were like nurses. They just back to being nurses because they didn't want to do the 6 years again.
Yeah.
And some people just dropped out entirely. I don't know what they're doing. They're just totally off the grid. To be honest, even till this day, I'm like, what's this guy doing? I don't even know.
So that's the thing. Like, if the obsession is there, surely that's the sort of people I think should be doctors, because those are the people that will do whatever it takes to get to their goal. Those are the types of people that will go above and beyond when being a doctor, because I don't think being a doctor is about the degree. I think being a doctor is more about the person's personality. Like, if you are not willing to help people and sacrifice your own time, people say time is money, but I think of it like money is time. Because money, you can always get, money is a variable. Like, you can always get more money, but you can never get more time. That's the main thing. If you are sacrificing your time to help someone, then that is something that is going to be much more appreciated by everybody. I don't know if you believe in like karma, like spirituality, if you're Muslim, Christian, there's some sort of form. Like, if you're giving back to someone or for the sake of something else, then it's going to reward you in the end. So it's an interesting point for people to think about.
Personally, I think I might get a bit of backlash for this, but you don't need to be really smart to become a doctor. Medicine is like sort of a way of life. You don't. There's different qualities that will help you to become a doctor.
Yeah, because that's the thing. Like, you don't need to, like we've mentioned in the full version of the podcast, like, you don't need to know everything like at all times. That's impossible. Nobody can do that unless you're like, what's his name? Not Harvey Specter, though. Mike Ross from Suits. Like, who is gonna have, like, you can't take a picture of the USMLE first aid book and keep it in your head here. So that's the sort of, if you have somebody that's willing to learn and willing to help people, those are the types of people that make much better.
You need to have that passion. You need to actually care about your patients.
Yeah.
And fair enough, obviously you need to be smart, but I'm not saying you have to be like Mike Ross smart.
Yeah.
But you have to have that passion. You need to care about your patients. You need to go above and beyond, meaning like
sacrificing your time.
Exactly, and picking up on little details that they could help the patient in a positive way. For example, I was on a GP placement in the UK, and I was with a GP doctor at this time, and this guy came and he was complaining of gout. He had like an inflammation on his big toe, and during the consultation, the doctor could have just said, okay, here's some medications to treat your gout, go on your way, that's it. Theoretically, like, if you look at it, the doctor is not at fault. But what did the doctor pick up on? He picked up on risk factors that put this patient at risk of developing a major heart disease in the future. So that's why he said, okay, I'm gonna do some more tests. You come back, this, and he gave him some more lifestyle advice as well. And that was good. And he told me, if you're not passionate about your job, and then you're putting these patients at risk, so you have to be passionate as a GP, as a psychiatrist, as internal medicine resident, or whatever it is. Cardiothoracic surgery, you need to be passionate about your patients.
And that's not something that you can really learn. Like, you can't really learn. Well, I'm going to say a quote from one of my favorite, La Pasión, from if anyone watches Dexter, then they know that. Okay. But you can't learn passion. Like, it has to. It's something that comes from your experiences, comes from your lifestyle. It's very hard to do that. But in terms of like training yourself to become hardworking, become more intelligent, you can do that. If you get what I mean. Like, it's a lot. Obviously, a lot of people are like gifted. They pick up on stuff a lot easier than other people, and that does help. It does help. But I know a lot of people that are very intelligent and they work hard and they're on the medicine degree, but then, I'm not gonna lie, like, you see their personality and you think, yeah, but you're doing it for the wrong reasons. You're gonna put the patient's interests, best interests at the first priority and stuff like that. So that's another factor that comes into students that want to study abroad.
At the end of the day, like, the patient needs to be comfortable with you as a doctor. And if they're not comfortable with you, then they're not really going to give you a proper history, and then you can't, and then that's going to impact their own health, and they'd already know that. So that's patient-doctor trust is a big thing.
And it's another like, not a warning, but I guess it is a warning. Like, people that, just because the option is there to go abroad and you can do it, it doesn't mean you should. And I think that for a lot of people, not just because, like, obviously you can pay and you can go abroad, but if you're not going to take it seriously, if you're not going to do it properly, then you need to reevaluate your situation and think about, is this something that you want to do? Because it's not just the course. You do 6 years, then you do 2 years for your residency, like in the UK, FY1, FY2, then you do specialty training wherever it is. So it's not just 6 years, it's going to be at least 15 years to get to your... It's a commitment to the rest of your life. So that's why it's something that you can't really ignore. I think that... I don't know if you've ever noticed this, but I feel like... it's not related, by the way, but I feel like in Asian families, especially, like, you find a lot of successful relationships and couples that get married. They're both, like, doctors, or they're working in, like... a healthcare environment. Like, you'll see a lot of doctors get married to pharmacists, a lot of doctors get married to doctors, stuff like that, like GPs and GPs. Do you think that is because they have a base level of understanding of the sacrifice that they've taken to make? And the thing is, I feel like they learn, especially me, like, you learn a lot about somebody's character, your friends, and stuff like that through the experiences you've had at uni, and like how the degree is, and how it's going to impact them. Do you think that is an important thing? Like,
generally speaking, obviously there's always anomalies, but generally speaking, I think because you have to understand each other, and sometimes most often than not, your partner might be exhausted from their shift in the hospital, or they might just be emotionally unavailable for, like, maybe temporarily, maybe for like a day or two, because they're just so burnt out. And if you don't understand that as a partner, and then that's...
I don't know, that was just something, like, it did come to my head. Like, I was just thinking, it is something that you see quite often, and maybe people don't understand that. But now that we're doing the degree, sometimes, with the boys' conversations late night, you're just, like, chatting about random stuff. Like, we do touch on this sort of stuff, but it's interesting to know, like, it does wire your brain in a certain way. And even people that are, like, successful, they made it, they're working, they still choose to, because they know, like, they'll understand that what I've been through, and we've had similar experiences. Like, you bond with people that have had similar experiences to you. It's like it's a psychological thing, innit? So doing a degree and doing something that is incorporated into your life like that, there's really nothing like different. So,
I mean, I think these guys, they do understand that you are going to be really busy, because even now as a med student, like sometimes I don't even have time to stay in contact with all of my friends like every single day. Sometimes I'm like, you know what, I might contact you after like a week or something. Even my parents, to be honest, if my parents are listening to
it sounds
this,
bad, but
I'm
like,
sorry if I don't call you every single day, but you know, I do care about you guys. Sometimes I just can't find the time. So, or sometimes I'm just really exhausted. So
and I don't want to like call my mum when I'm like feeling like crap. Because I don't want them to see me. I don't want them to see me like exhausted. I think it's like difficult for me because it's not like that most of the time. But on the days I is like that, I don't want to call them because it's like they're gonna think that that's what it's like all the time for me. And like, I'm pushing myself too hard. But the way I see it, like you should be pushing yourself hard every single day in your 20s.
True.
Because that's when you have the most energy. Like you should be doing as much as you can if you want to be comfortable later on in life.
And to be honest, like med school is probably, if you're going to become a doctor, med school is probably the easiest time of your life.
Yeah,
because after med school, you're gonna have to deal with residency. You're gonna have to deal with training, specialty training. There's gonna be a whole portfolio of things that you need to deal with. And if you can't handle yourself now
in med school, that is a good warning. It's just gonna become a good point to be fair. Yeah, because
and plus studying abroad. I'm just proper glazing studying abroad right now.
But it is difficult in the UK as well. True, like the degree is difficult.
It is difficult, and any challenges that come your way during med school is just setting you up for the future. You know,
that's the thing. Problem solving, innit?
Problem solving, time management, resilience, communication. You know, talking to different cultures. Everything plays a part.
The biggest thing that the biggest disparity that you have between studying in the UK and studying abroad is if you are in the UK and your family's in the UK, it'll be a maximum like 7-hour drive. Your parents in the same country, they can get to you easily if there is any like emergency, and that's what people's families and students' main concern is. Because when you're abroad, like for us to get here, it's like 12 or 14 hours door to door, like with a flight, with a couple of flights in between. So it is a long time. And you know, there's unfortunately been like instances that we've seen as well. Like there's been people that have been ill or they've got into like some really bad accidents and they've been taken to like the hospital and they've not recovered from it. They've either like passed away or they've like been left in a vegetative state, and that sort of stuff does happen. But that's the sort of stuff that we do take into account when we are coming abroad, and we know it. And it does come out like deep down, you do know you have that sort of, I think to some level, I think that all international students have a level of anxiety because you know, like you're going to be further away from home, you have to deal with a lot of stuff. And on the flip side as well, if something happens to, let's say, your family back home, it's going to be a very stressful time for you. It's going to be hard to like go back. It's going to be a mental time. So that's the sort of stuff that people should know about coming abroad, and it's not as easy as it seems on paper.
It's a sacrifice at the end of the day.
It's a sacrifice.
If you really want to study medicine and you know there's nothing to stop you, then you can come abroad. I
think if you have got the money to do it and you want to invest your time into it, then definitely look into the options. There's so many countries out there that offer places. Bulgaria, like Latvia, Romania, Poland, Georgia, there's so many places. So it's honestly just about where you go. And let's be honest, the reason why we came to Georgia was because it's the cheapest. Like, we don't want to put financial stress on our family. We want it to be as easy as possible for them, because a lot of our parents do fund it. So even people that are trying to fund it themselves, if you can get the same thing in another country and it's the same degree, then you would want to pay that. You wouldn't want to pay an extra price. You get it as low as possible. That's the same with everyone. Everyone loves a bargain. But at the end of the day, the degree is just to get the certificate from the university. You could teach yourself. If I gave you the syllabus I gave you the books, it's up to you how much you want to learn it. You could learn it yourself. You could learn it within 3 years. You could get like the experience, but to get into a job, you have to have gone to a university, graduated, got the degree. That's why I don't really believe that if your degree costs more, like your tuition costs more, then it makes the degree better. I think you'll have examples of people that went to a very expensive uni and they still have less knowledge than somebody that was working hard in a cheaper university. So that's sort of stuff. Like, there's factors that will affect everything. Obviously, you get like really good students from the expensive universities as well. But the same thing here. How many people have we seen in our university that have taken USMLE Step 2 and Step 1? Like,
there's a lot.
There's so many people that have done that, and they've done it with the knowledge that they've got from Georgia. and they've put a lot of work in themselves, which is what we aspire to be like as well. I see them people. I think of them as,
you can sort of tell who's going to become a good doctor and who's not going to become a good doctor when you study.
It sounds bad, but that is the reality.
It's true, because there's some people out there who really tackle all these life challenges as well and everything that comes with studying abroad, and some people who are just very laid back. They don't really try hard, and you can tell that these guys are not really going to go far. But the people who do try hard and the people that do push themselves, and they hold on to the challenges that life gives them and they deal with it, these are the people that are actually going to have these qualities to become a good doctor in the future. So I think that will really help, especially if you didn't have these qualities beforehand. So that is something to be
let us know down. So just let us know down in the comments what you guys think makes good qualities of a doctor, and if you agree or disagree with anything that we've said. Obviously this is our opinion, we're just two guys talking, but it would be interesting to hear what you guys think. And it's been nice doing this.
Thank you for coming on. It's been a pleasure, and
it's been good to
guys check out his channel, Abdul-Aziz Ansari, on TikTok and Instagram. He does provide a lot of insight on what it's like to study abroad, and he does help out a lot of students who are planning to come abroad and who are already here. And
likewise, if you're seeing this on my TikTok, then make sure you do check out Global Med Talks. He does a lot of podcasts that offer insight into studying abroad, challenges, all that sort of stuff that you won't find from a lot of other sources. So make sure you do check him out. We hope to see you guys in another episode.
Thank you very much.